Hey, I got another Felicity Jane layout. Hey everybody, it's your girl Victoria Marie, and I'm back with another layout for the Felicity Jane Creative Media Team. For more information about Felicity Jane, check us out. The link is posted in the description box below. Let's get started. All right, so let's go ahead and dig into this layout. Now, I took a selfie and I printed it out in black and white as well as in color. If you've been watching my videos for a while, then you know I love printing my photos in black and white because it gives you some versatility in terms of the types of colors that you want to use on your layout. I also printed the second photo in color because it gives a little bit of contrast to that black and white photo. Now, this layout serves no other purpose than for me to document the selfie. Also, my really fun jaunty hat that I have on. But I'm getting ready to turn 37 next month, and I love scrapbooking pictures about myself so I can see how far I've come over the years, how I've changed, how I've progressed, that type of thing. And so this layout probably won't have a ton of journaling. It's just really for me to document these photos. I'm going to put my date. I'm going to put the date and my age and maybe say a little something. I'm not sure yet, but you know, kind of game time decisions with that. But let's get started on the design. Again, I'm doing this for the Felicity Jane Creative Media Team. So make sure that you check us out. I posted a link down below to the Felicity Jane blog. Now, what I want to do is I want to create sort of a unique background. So I have some pattern paper from the kit, and I also have this piece of white cardstock. What I want to do is go ahead and trim this down, and I'll probably do about 1 inch on 2 sides because I want the blue paper to show through. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off, and then we're going to trim this side. There we go. So let me see if that's going to give me what I'm looking for. Yes, it is. So I have plenty of that blue showing. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to create sort of this vertical design going down the page with little semicircles sort of flanking the photos that are going to come down here. So what I've done is from scraps from the pattern paper that came with the kit, I punched out some of these little semicircles using my 2-inch or 2.5-inch punch by EK Success. And I'm going to use this as well to notch out some little circles, semicircles here on the page. Now, this is a really great way to use up some of your scraps, particularly when you're coming to the end of the kit or end of collection or end of pattern paper, and you're trying to figure out a way to use it. Get out those punches. These never go out of style, and see what you can create. So I'm going to set these to the side. And all I did was I've taken just a strip of paper, took my circle punch, put it in like halfway or maybe a quarter way, punched it out, and there I have a semicircle. Okay, very easy. So what I want to do is I want to create a circle here, or a point of interest here, here, and right here. So I'm going to come to the top of this white pattern paper. I'm not white pattern paper, Lord have mercy, it's my white paper, solid cardstock that is. And I'm going to punch a little notch right here. Then I'm going to come here to the bottom and punch a little notch right here. Now the reason why that I want to do this, one here at the top and one here at the bottom, is because my photos are going to flank right here going in a vertical fashion, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Now I want a third one coming here, mainly because I do like the rule of 3s. So if I do something once, I'm going to do it twice, I'm going to do it 3 times, because that gives the eye 3 points of interest on the page. All right, so now I'm ready to go. Now I could just leave it like this and that looks interesting, but I want to pop those pattern papers right there behind the little notches that I punched out. So I'm going to put the floral one here. I'm going to put this design here with little squiggly black and white lines, and then I'm going to put the dotted one right here. And all I'm doing is just slipping that in and making sure that it lines up with the edge of the paper. And then if I have it the way that I want, of course I can play around with the colors. So if I want to have this one up here, then I can do that, and move this one over here, that's fine. So I just want to play around with a little bit and see which ones I like. I think this is going to do. So I'm going to move these to the side, flip this over, and I think what we'll do is we'll add just a little bit of adhesive to the edge of my little cutout notches here. I'm going to put the floral here, making sure that it's lining up with the edge of the white solid cardstock. And then to reinforce it, I'm going to add a little bit of washi tape that I have hanging out here. just so that it stays. And then I'm going to do the same with the other two. So now that I have those all adhered, I'm going to flip this over, and then I'll just position it on my pattern paper background. Now at this point, there's a few things that you can do. You can do some faux stitching around these circles. That'll be really great. You can do a little bit of distressing if you want to, so taking your nail or a distresser or a pair of scissors, and of course you can do that prior to putting the pattern paper behind the notches, just to give it a little bit more interest. All I'm going to do is just take my nail and add a tiny bit of distressing, just kind of pulling it up just a little bit. So I actually reached for just a pair of scissors, and I'm just going to do a little bit of distressing here. Nothing super major, just really simple distressing. So that's how that's looking so far. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and commit to attaching that to the background. So what I want to do is I want to take my photos, and I've already backed them with pattern paper because this is not the first time that I've done this layout. And what I want to do is I want to stick them right here, just a little bit underneath each other. And I'm going to kind of offset them just a tiny bit. And so now you see this vertical band that's going down. So I'm going to go ahead and commit to that because I've been playing around with this layout so much, it's just time to make some decisions. Now the photos are already backed with some foam adhesive, so it is going to give it a little bit of height and dimension. So I'm going to make sure that I reinforce that adhesive there since I've been working with it so much. I'm going to go ahead and put this photo here, and then this photo right here. Right there. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to start adding some details. So I have my title, which is going to be Capture. And I also have a little stamp that says Living My Best Life, which you can't see right now, but you will whenever I stamp it. But first, there are a couple of things I want to do to layer behind the photos. This first one is this little cutout that I took from one of the journaling cards out of the kit. It says Things to Note. And what I want to do is put this right here, or actually I want to put this right here. There we go. Then I have another label, and I stamped Favorite Photo. So that one's going to go right over here, just like that. Then I have just some extra pieces of little scrappy paper that I thought I would put one right here, just to layer it up. And then maybe potentially one right here, although I don't want that pattern next to that pattern. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to trim this just slightly. And I'm all about the tucking and just kind of making things work. So that's going to go there. This is going to go here. I think, yeah, I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and commit to that. Add some adhesive on there. Tuck that in. I love just seeing what I have laid out on my desk and making it work. Sometimes I don't always have a plan, and I like that. So this was definitely one of those game time decisions. So I'm liking how that looks so far. So the next thing I want to do is I want to come in and bring in my title, which is Capture. This is a die cut from the kit. And I thought that I would put it right here so that tail of the P is right in the middle of the photo, but I'm not that picky. So I'm just going to put this right here. And then I'm going to stamp the sentiment, Living My Best Life, I think right here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add some more adhesive there. And then stick this guy on down, layering him a little bit on top of these two elements here. Then I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to grab my little clear mount. I love stamping, and Felicity Jane has the best stamps. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on the creative design team. I was a customer before I was on the design team, so I definitely can attest to how great the products are. If you haven't checked us out, make sure you do felicityjane.com. The link is in the description. So I'm going to ink this up. I'm using some VersaFine ink in black. And what I want to do first, before I start getting happy, is I want to test it. Yes, okay, good. That'll work. Okay, so I'm going to put this nestled right there, right above the CAP. Love that. I'm living my best life. There we go. That looks really, really good. All right, so now that I got the main part of my layouts done, now I want to go in and add some embellishments. So I'm taking some die cuts from the Alexis kit, and I just want to do a little bit of something, not a whole lot. So I have this little die cut circle with these little plus signs, and I also have this circle that says yes. And what I want to do is I'm going to adhere this on, and I'm going to offset it just a little bit versus putting it in the middle of the circle. I'm just going to put it over here to the side, and that's going to give it a little bit of interest. I'm going to stick this right here on top of my little semicircle cutout. And then to add a little bit of color down here, I want to add this little circle die cut, and it has a little bit of turquoise in the middle. Because I have worked on this layout already a few times, I do have some adhesive on the back of those little circles. So I'm going to add a fresh dimensional on the back, or get this to stand up just a little bit. And then what I want to do is just kind of put it right here. Next, I want to address this side. So I'm going to bring over this heart. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive, a little bit more, since I've unstuck this from a page a few times already. I'm going to stick that right up here just to bring some of that black and white over there. And then I have another one of these little circles that I'm going to go ahead and pop up on a dimensional. And I'm using some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, which are my favorites. I'm going to peel off the old dimensional that was on there from my previous layout. Stick that on there just to give it a little bit of height, and I think I'm going to stick this right here like that. Maybe a little off. Oh, I guess I could take the backing off. That would help to get that to stick. Hello. Okay, so I'm going to put this probably about right here. Okay. So now I need to address this little area here, and I did have another one of these little circles, but I actually don't know where it went in between redoing this layout. So I'm going to find something to go over here on this circle to kind of layer it up a little bit. So I have another one of these die cut circles I'm going to use, and what I want to do is add a little bit of adhesive here on the back. And I'm going to tuck this right in here, just like it's peeking out just a little bit, just to give a little bit of color here to this side. So next up, I just want to add one more little touch, and I have these little sequin from a previous Felicity Jane kit. I can't remember which one it is, but I'm just going to pick out some of the sequin here from this little pack. So I think I want to grab some of this orangey color. Well, not really orange, it's more of a coral color. And then I just want to put just maybe one or two, just to add a tiniest bit of extra color and texture onto the page. Alright, so here is the finished layout. I really love how this came together, and you know what? I don't think it needs anything else. I'm going to leave it just the way that it is. I thought I would put some journaling on there, but I decided not to. I thought I'd stamp the date, but you know, this is just one of those layouts where it's like, you know, I'm just going to leave it be. It is what it is, and I absolutely love it. So I think what I'll do is I'll put the date and whatnot on the back of the layout, so at least I can reference it when I get ready to put it in the album, and then of course when I go back and look at it later. But I think it's absolutely perfect. I like sort of this band of interest going from the top of the page to the bottom, as well as these 3 points of interest across the page. This is definitely the type of design that'll draw your eye in. You can take it all in without being overwhelmed. All right, to check out more from the Felicity Jane creative team, head on over to the felicityjane.com website, where you can see not only my layouts, but also my teammates' layouts. We have a wonderful team of talented ladies. We, in fact, just introduced some new ladies to the team, so make sure you go and check that out and show them some love. And I hope that you are interested in giving Felicity Jane kits a try. So go on over to the website for more information on how you can subscribe. Hey, before you leave, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and when you do, click on that bell indicator. That way you'll know every time I post a video here on the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. If you want to see some more Felicity Jane greatness, go ahead and click on the videos here, and I hope that you like it. Now you go and be creative.